yes, Miami's been terrible in bowl games, but we beat y'all by 6 touchdowns. Shut up. 52-10, 4 in a row with 4 different quarterbacks. We're about to make it 5, but only with the 4th quarterback coming back again this year. Sorry.
And I love Phil because he's in here all the time and he's a faithful supporter and so forth. But when his team doesn't make bowl games,
get out of here, bro. Trash. Oh, I'm so glad that they fell off. Like, I mean, it's funny because I was going back through some of the archives on State of the U, man, and like, we should have beat them a few times during that 7-year run, and just the strength and the power of Dalvin Cook, just like, and Jameis Winston, or, just a fluke blocked extra point. I mean, but yeah, you just get, Dalvin Cook, God, dog, that man, single-handedly beating Miami, 3 times. Like, and without those singular performances, and that's things that Miami fans were trying to say, bro. Like, hey, without these generational players, Jimbo's like an 8-4, 9-3 coach. And then y'all ran him off, and now it's like worse than that. Like, I don't hate to say that we told y'all so, and we saw it coming, and you're like, oh, they're just sour grapes. Da, 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 da. All right, cool. You can think that if you want to, but like, y'all are living proof positive of what we were talking about 5 and 6 and 7 years ago. Y'all playing these away games and recruiting. Y'all think that y'all are Notre Dame as a national recruiting brand where you should be going everywhere for every single player and not having a local area to recruit from and then go out from. All these different kind of things. We done told y'all. You say, oh, yeah, y'all Miami don't know nothing. Who don't know nothing now, bro?
There was an article on ESPN back in November that I thought was tremendous. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. They took it from the Florida State demise. Starting in 2014, you start to see the cracks on in the armor following the undefeated championship team, where they made it back to the playoff, undefeated ACC champ, but barely were escaping some marginal teams, and then down through. The missteps with Jimbo and him fighting with the administration and demanding, facilities and money and just the bad blood and relationship there on through Willie Taggart to Mike Norvell. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was a piece by Andrea Adelson and David Hale on ESPN.com. So you guys can check that out. Eddie, somos bien, ¿y usted?
How well do you think you've got a beat on looking at your football team in any given year and saying, these are our personnel losses versus this is what we gained in recruiting, plus these are the places where I think we can develop in terms of the players that are already on campus, and I've already seen to weigh out, do I think we're better or not as good?
Usually I think that I have a good pulse on it. The thing is, Miami hasn't really played too many freshmen. I know that we played some who have been really good. You know what I mean? A Brad Kaya, a Duke Johnson. Stacey Coley was good his freshman year. Maybe a handful of others, but like true freshmen. We haven't played too many. So while Miami has added talent in recruiting, I usually discount that from evaluating the team because we're not strong on playing or leveraging those guys as starters as much as maybe some other programs. And maybe that's because the coaches are gun shy, maybe because, you just favor seniority. And I know that obviously some coaches do at every level, high school, college, professional. Larry Brown from the Pistons famously truncated Darko Milicic's development because he didn't play rookies. Like, everybody knew this. So he said, okay, you can draft this 7'1" lefty kid who, like, in today's NBA, Darko he was 15 years ahead of his time, but not only was he ahead of his time, was also playing for a coach who's like, look, you had to earn your way onto the floor by showing experience, but you're a rookie and I'm not going to give you a chance to get that experience. Enjoy. You see the same thing also in college, you know what I mean? Or in college, in the world of college football, obviously, is what we're talking about. So there's going to be some coaches who lean on that. Mark Richt heavily. And so I usually don't, put in the freshmen or expect a lot from them. Now, if they play like they did in high school, then they can work their way up. It's really looking at, where guys could develop in their time at Miami. And I mean, some of it for recent years has been obviously the scheme, because with Mark D'Onofrio, the defense was terrible. You know, with Mark Richt, it was hit or miss and ended up pretty bad. The year with Dan Enos, fellow Michigander, wasn't great. And then you get to, this year with, what's his name, Rhett Lashley, but then the defense took clear steps back, to the point where Blake Baker was, pretty much told seek shelter elsewhere, and did at LSU as a position coach. But, those scheme things have an effect as well on player development. So I think that usually, I watch this team all the time, like I've seen these kids for a long time, so I think I know who's good and who's not. But then again, it comes down to, like, obviously what they're doing on the practice field and in the classroom, or the meeting room, if you will, and everything. But I don't think that there's really many times that there's a player who, like, is a foundational player all of a sudden for Miami who's, like, completely off of my radar, even if they might not have been the one that I picked in the preseason roundtable.